wow. I still find myself staring at the starting screen for Genshin. It's so beautiful, mesmerizing with the vocals in the background. The game may have been released around the end of September, but for some reason it all feels so nostalgic to me. I still remember the first time I installed it because I heard about it on TikTok, and I was hooked right from the get-go. It's only been half a year since the game released, but it's taken all over social media. Content creators are thriving off of it, artists are thriving off of it, you know the game. So let's just take one look at it before one of the biggest updates for it arrives, Genshin Impact 2.0. So where do I begin with this game? I guess I can start with how I discovered it, and that was with TikTok, like I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna be honest with you, I never heard of Genshin until it got released, not even when those trailers promoting the beta came out, like the Amber one. It just completely zipped by my radar. Apparently, its popularity rose when the Dawn Winery theme came out, and I can see why. It's a great theme. And most of the promotion for the game was indeed the music, but I want to hold myself before I start gushing over the music. Spoiler, it's really good. I still remember the first TikTok I saw showcasing the game. It was this dude going, "This character raised as a JoJo stand, look how cool he is!" And I won't lie, it did captivate me. The graphics looked amazing, and most of the people who were promoting the game on TikTok just said, "It's Breath of the Wild, but anime." And I want to start there first. A lot of the news and buzz surrounding the game when it initially came out was the fact that it was heavily Breath of the Wild inspired, and the developers of the game, MiHoYo, didn't dodge this fact at all. They were very direct about it, stating it to be one of their huge inspirations, along with the fact that many of the employees at the time held it in high regard. Now, there's nothing wrong with inspiration. There's a difference between being blatant and being inspired, and on first glance, the similarities are very apparent. But once you watch like a 10-minute gameplay of it, you'll start to see how the developers took the concept of Breath of the Wild and transformed it into a vision of their own. And this is coming from someone who has completely beaten Breath of the Wild, gotten all 120 shrines, and did all the Quark Seeds. Although I could understand why some people were aware of this game being a complete Breath of the Wild ripoff. You know those App Store Chinese bootleg games are always ripoffs of other mainstream games? I don't have any examples, but I'm sure all of you have a game in your head that matches that description. That's what a lot of people thought it was. And this came to the game's benefit, because when people assumed it was a Breath of the Wild ripoff, download it and then play it, and realize, wait, it's an actual game? More of the positive traits of the game were shown, increasing more interest. I could just imagine the original haters being like, wait, Link uses a paraglide in the game to glide, in this game, this person used wings to glide. It's the same game! Now MiHoYo, the people who made Genshin Impact. What's there to know about them? A Chinese company created in 2012 by free university students who wanted to express their love for anime, and as a result, produce anime-esque games. They have a few games in their portfolio, most specifically Fly Me to the Moon and Guns Girl Z, and those few titles had established MiHoYo in the mobile market. It wasn't until 2016 where they released Honkai Impact 3, which was a spiritual successor to Guns Girl Z. I would make a joke about where the first two, but MiHoYo hit it big with Honkai Impact, and also had someone attempt to assassinate them because of some change they did to What the fuck? Not much I can really gather from the development of Genshin during this time, besides the closed beta and obviously that Breath of the Wild was a huge inspiration for them, while it changed the art style to be a bit more anime. Like, Zelda is borderline anime influenced, but just one look between the two, and you can see how one is more animized. Animized is not a word. I respect the origin of the company, just a bunch of dudes creating something that they're passionate in. Fuck, that's what I'm doing, and it's what many of my friends are doing as well. Now the music, oh man, I could spend an entire video on the music of Genshin, and I do have a script that I made in November about it, so maybe I actually will. But all I'll say is, Yupeng, the composer for the game, is a fucking genius, and he deserves all the praise and compliments he gets. Everything he has composed has been a masterpiece quality, and I'm waiting until I actually just talk about the game. A lot of the cards were played right in Genshin's favor when it came out. The news outlets covering it as a Breath of the Wild clone but actually good? And also the player base, because like I said from my experience, I discovered it via word of mouth. You might be thinking I'm gonna include the ads for Genshin Impact, but no. No. What the hell are these Genshin ads? I don't have any visual evidence for this right now, so you just get to listen to me ramble about this because I can't refresh my page a million times, hope I get a Genshin ad. But what are these ads? If you've seen one, you probably know what I'm talking about. The ones just showing random gameplay or just ones showing character trailers. Character trailers I can sort of understand. They do look cool and could captivate the watcher, but some of them don't fit as full-fledged ads. Like, these advertisements are long, and the thing is, this doesn't seem like they put any effort into the ads at all. No cuts or anything, just a raw video file, because they could have went for a bit of editing within the trailers, showing more gameplay than just simple animation, which is great no doubt, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people thought it was an anime movie. And you know what? I would watch it. We need a Genshin anime movie. But the gameplay trailers? Oh man, these are some of the more infamous ones. I still remember the one where it was just a character gliding in Mondstadt. There was this code in the bottom left corner so you can get prizes and stuff. And it was so boring. Like no gameplay was going on. It was just a character gliding and walking. I do like how honest most advertisements are. They're just raw gameplay, and I can respect the non-clickbait, but damn, it would have been good if they gave us shizzles. You know, a cinematic trailer, add a default text saying how cool it is. Maybe they could have gone the toothpaste route companies go, and be like, 9 out of 10 gamers recommend this game. Apparently, a lot of the ads for Genshin are also being outsourced to third-party companies, resulting in even worse ads. Please send them over because I've only actually heard word of these. Recently though, MiHoYo has enlisted the help of actual content creators to create ads to promote Genshin. The only two I can think of, however, is the SS Sniper Wolf one. Yeah. There's a pretty good one done by this Asian dude named Twanto. Look at this dude. And this advertisement does give me hope for Genshin's advertisement team. And again, I'm not trying to harp on MiHoYo for not putting much effort into the advertising. When it comes to trailers and promotions for events and characters, they are spectacular at it. It just seems that the appeal is for people that are already fans of the game, rather than people who could potentially be newcomers. The only exception to everything I just said previously is the We Will Be Reunited trailer, which was used in the advertisement actually. This one is different from the rest, as this one is story related, or lore, depending on what term you like the best. This is something that can actually intrigue the viewer immediately, and it helps that the trailer itself is fucking beautiful, playing into suspense and mystery, and it's making us be like, hey yo, what is happening? Oh well, this trailer is very spoiler heavy. Why the fuck were they using this as part of the advertisements? But I think this is the perfect way to segue into the lore or plot of Genshin, as it's one of the huge reasons people get into this game. So the story begins, oh right, I have to put a spoiler tag for everyone that doesn't want to be spoiled, give me a second. So Genshin is technically not a complete game yet. It's receiving constant updates to the game every month or so, and that includes partial amounts of story and lore. Yes, the story is not finished yet, so I'll just be going off what we have so far. And what we do have is quite large, if we take the character's lore into account as well. And from what it looks like, we have a lot more lore incoming for the next, 5 years? No, 12, oh my god! To give you an idea of how much we have in the future, as of the time of this video's date, we are about to have Act 2 of the story be available for us, out of supposedly 7. But due to the blank number, I won't be surprised if there are more in between. Also, please watch the storyline preview trailer, it is amazing and builds up tension so well, but anyway, let's start from the bottom. So this is a game called Genshin Impact. Wait, not that deep. So the game begins with these two bolts of lightning surging across the horizon, with an unknown character as of right now explaining the events that happened. Apparently, the two surges of light are actually twins that have been traveling the many worlds for God knows how long, and canonically the two are known as Aether and Lamine, although when I say Aether, I always think of. But as the twins are ready to move on to the next world, an unknown god attempts to stop them, and it's here we can choose one of the two siblings, with the other being, corrupted by the Kingdom Hearts virus block. I chose Lamine, and shortly after, we're corrupted by the blocks as well. Along with being separated from our twin, we've also lost all of our powers, so we're essentially stuck in this world that we revived in. And here where we discover one of the speakers in this cutscene, Paimon, a floating piece of blob that we caught 2 months prior to this conversation, but the goal is set pretty clear for us almost immediately. Discover more about this world, and find our lost twin. After exploring for a bit, wow, I forgot how fucking good this game starts, Jesus. As we explore, we come across a statue depicting some sort of god, and when we interact with it, we're given some sort of elemental power, known as Anemo. Paimon reveals that we are near Mondstadt, the City of Freedom, which worships the god of Anemo, Barbados. It's just that hopefully someone may have seen our twin. Unfortunately, as soon as we arrive in Mondstadt, it's being terrorized by a local dragon Storm Terror, and after dealing with it temporarily with the help of an unknown person, we quickly gather the attention of the higher-ups of Mondstadt, who invite us over to the Knights of Favonius headquarters. Now, this is where the story kinda gets rudimentary. Not saying nothing happens, or there's plenty of important plot and info spread around, but it's kind of in bits and pieces and you have to play for the entire game to understand. It's just that, 1, I don't want this video to be 5 hours long, and 2, I mainly focus on the main plot. There's a lot of plot lines that can be introduced, and if you want to dive into the lore of those specific plot points, you can. And to the game's credit, there is a ton of lore for everything, including characters and locations. It's just that for each act, including this one, it just seems to be mainly focused on its region, and it kind of stays in its own lane if you catch my drift. Like, one act doesn't immensely impact the other, besides the characters recollecting important info from the previous acts. But back to the main story. As we help Mondstadt deal with Storm Terror, we learn a few things about the elemental powers that we have. What we have is entirely abnormal, as this is not usually how a human gains an elemental power. I'm not even sure we're human ourselves. Elemental powers, or visions as they're called, are typically given by the archons, or gods if we're using general terms, of their respective elements. For example, the god of Anemo, Barbados, is the one responsible for handing out Anemo visions to users. Visions usually take the form of a pendant, and when a user dies, their vision is removed alongside it. Now the thing with visions is that it's only given to specific people, or special people. Chosen ones in a sense, as the archons decide who gets a vision and who doesn't. I can make a Fire Emblem reference, but I'm not in the mood. Along the journey, we come across a bard named Venti, who seems to have a very close connection to Storm Terror, whose real name is revealed to be the Valen. Let's not beat around the bush, he's actually revealed to be the god of Anemo, Barbados, and helps us attempt to help fix the Valen as he's going kind of crazy. It's revealed that Dvalin is being manipulated by the dark influence by a group known as the Abyss, these mini floating plague doctor masked dudes that use elemental powers. After freeing Dvalin, however, we're met for a little plot twist where our sibling was seemingly working for the Abyss, and is even considered the leader of them? What's going on? Guess you gotta play the game to find out. And that section I just told you was only the prologue of the entire game. Yes, there's a lot more. Especially in Act 1 where it focuses on the region of Liyue. And I don't want to spoil any of those moments for you because they're actually really spectacular. One thing I absolutely admire about Genshin is the world and lore building in both internal and external resources. You learn the main events for the general story quests, but there are always other ways to learn more about those events, either from story quests or books you can find. There are some things I haven't even mentioned yet, like the Fatui, who are considered to be one of the main antagonists of the game. We learn a general gist of them, but if we want to learn more about them, we can do something like that one commission quest with the Fatui dude, or do the child story quest to learn more about them. You can take a single topic from anything about Genshin and turn it into a 10-minute video, because that's how much information there is about it. And I love how most fans put into optional quests, like, they put the most important stuff, the bare minimum into the main story quest, and when you wonder certain things like, I wonder what the Fatui actually do, there's always someone that can answer that question for you so it hooks you in perfectly. I could do a whole video about something like the history of Mondstadt Vanessa, Child's history of certain landscapes and locations, fuck, even Kaya and Diluc's history. There's even a manga that is set before the game that elaborates on events and characters in case you want to know more about them. Topping this all off though are the characters. Every single character, I mean every playable character is so well written and delved deep upon. Every character has a story section to them, explain their life, explain how they got their vision, and there is so much characterization in them in terms of both lore and personality. And there are plenty of voice lines that show useless info about them, but it's charming to just know what kind of food they like, and sometimes they even comment on other characters. There is so much to learn about these characters, and it's the only time where you'll learn actually important info that could lead to their involvement in future events in the game. Like the fact that Kaya is a spy for Khaenri'ah, a nation that was built without the help of the gods, and was considered the pride of humankind, before it got blown up and destroyed by the Archons about 500 years ago. The thing is, Khaenri'ah is an extremely important plot point to the story of the game, as the Abyss were actually all inhabitants of Khaenri'ah before it got blown up and returned to these things, and the main character's sibling is considered the leader of the Abyss, and in the We Will Be Reunited trailer, we see that he also witnessed the destruction of Khaenri'ah, so there's a bit of time travel going on from when the two siblings got separated. There's so many theories going on about what will happen next. Some suggest Paimon is actually the unknown god that attacked them. As of right now, we have explored the region of Liyue, meeting up with Zhongli, an Archon who made himself a human similar to Venti, and also gave his Gnosis away to the Fatui. Oh yeah, the Gnosis. You see how many plot points there are? It can get a bit cluttered sometimes. One of the goals of the Fatui is to capture each of the Archon's Gnosis, which are used to tap into the power of Celestia. Well, Celestia? Beats me. Go on the wiki page and find it yourself. Even I don't know the answers. But we've met with Zhongli and dealt with this giant water monster. Met with this dude who definitely knows about our sibling. We see a dead person. This statue is upside down. Oh hey, it's our sibling. And oh hey, the dude actually knows our sibling. How neat. Everyone dips. We're sad. We asked Zhongli about the time he blew up Khaenri'ah up, and he's like, now we're not allowed to. And Inazuma time. There's a ton of stuff I skimmed over, and some of you guys that may be doing a horrible job summarizing, and you're not wrong by any means, but I don't want to spoil those special moments for you. And I didn't even mention the story quests, which also have their own exciting moments. And all of this is the reason I am extremely excited for Inazuma, or the 2.0 update. I remember watching the Inazuma program, and one of the developers pointed out that Inazuma is the land that the Electro Archon controls, and Electro creates lightning, or something like that. But the important thing is that he mentions that lightning symbolizes a fleeting moment, an instant. However, the concept of the Electro Archon pursues is eternity, and so he questions the viewer on what causes change to happen within the Electro Archon. This really showed me how incredible the writers of the game were. To pose these questions to the audience, alongside themselves I would suppose, when they were writing the plot for Inazuma, is just astounding, and it really goes to show how amazing the writing team is for Genshin. I didn't even talk about the many themes that are implemented to the story and characters, especially in how some visions are assigned to a specific group of people. Also, this Inazuma program was awesome. I know some people were kind of pissed over the length, but I love behind the scenes stuff like this. You can really see the passion from the expression and tone that they love what they're doing, and when they said that some of the employees actually love the game, that actually made me smile inside. I absolutely love the plot they're going with Inazuma, making a whole resistance organization movement against the tyranny of the government. I fucking love these types of war rebel stories. Like, I fucking love Attack on Titan. And that series was basically resisting all the way through, from the Titans all the way to Marley and the world itself. I'm excited for the future of Genshin, and I hope you are too. And hopefully this entire story summary has inspired you to take up Genshin, because it's an enjoyable story, and I only barely scratched the surface of the story. There's a whole iceberg waiting for you. That's for you to discover on your own. But for now, all we gotta do is wait. Well, I originally had 8 more pages that would extend this to 30 minutes, talking about the gameplay, presentation, and the resin system, which sucks, obviously. But, after editing to this part, I feel like this would be a nice place to stop, as the story was essentially the main focus of this video. Although this would ruin a bit of the structure of the video, like, I haven't expressed my deep love of the music as I was sort of building up to it in the video. The music is very good, let's make that clear right now. It knows how to convey an array of emotions. The best analogy I have for it is just the wind brushing against your skin like a goosebump thing. That's the exact feeling I feel when I listen to the music. I still have the audio in the computer, but I feel in terms of pacing, this would be a perfect place to end the video. And frankly, I'm tired of editing. Like, I just got done editing a 40-minute video about Fire Emblem 1. And immediately after, I had to edit another one that's around 30 minutes, which is so close. That's tiring, man. Come on. I really want to get this video out before or by when Inazuma came out, so that put like a ton of stress on me. I just sort of made that mental promise to me like a few weeks back. I'm just ranting. You can close the video right now, but if you want my code, here's my code. I used a bunch of other people's footage for the story segment, so the code might be inconsistent. But yeah, here's my code in case you want to play with me. Maybe we can do Inazuma stuff together when it comes out, like today, by the time this video releases. But yeah, wait, didn't I have an outro?